What's up, everybody? I think we can all agree that the SMG meta is getting a little bit stale, whether you've just been using the Lockman sub over and over again, the ISO 45, or you've been using the ISO 9mm since the start of the season. You might be looking to mix it up. You might be wondering if this is really the SMG meta or if you're forgetting anything, and I have the answer to that question. But before I give you the answer to that question, I just want to mention my Twitch is linked down below. If you want to see me try out any weapons, compare them, whatever, live, tell me I'm right, tell me I'm wrong, click the link down below, follow, make sure you keep your notifications on so when I'm live. But to answer your question, yes, there is an SMG that you're missing out on, and I think it might be the overall best SMG. It's not going to kill the absolute fastest up close. It's not going to compete with ARs at range, but it's got a great middle ground, and it's super competitive up close. And that SMG is going to be the Bas-P. Now, the Lockman sub did get nerfed today. The ISO 9mm also got nerfed today as well, but that was for long range. That's not really an issue. But the Bas-P is competitive with both ISOs and the Lockman sub pre-nerf up close. As well as having way better damage range. We're going to get into all the data and the comparison in just a second. But for those that just want the loadout, we're going to go ahead and jump into the loadout first. And then we'll go ahead and do the comparison next. So here we have the Bas-P in all of its glory. And we're going to have the Spiral V3.5 flash hider. That's a pretty common muzzle for people to use on SMGs. It does hurt the aim down sight speed, as you can see right below me, but it gives you muzzle flash concealment, which really just keeps you off the minimap, which we don't have traditional minimap. Keeps you on there less long, but it does help with recoil. It's really good for both vertical and horizontal recoil, and the tuning for that's going to be negative 0.74 down towards aim down sight speed, and positive 0.31 to the right over to gun kit control. Then we get into the barrels. We're selecting the 6.5 MWII Drake, which you can see helps the aim down sight speed, the movement speed, the hip recoil speed. It does hurt the damage range, the bullet velocity, the hip fire accuracy, and the recoil control. But with the other mods, the recoil is really easy to control. The damage range is already longer than all the other SMGs, so that's not really important. And bullet velocity is not as big of a deal for an SMG as it is for range. And this is not a hip fire build, so I'm not worried about hip fire accuracy. I do like the aim down sight speed for up close. I do like the movement speed for up close. The Thunderfire helps all that same stuff, also hurts all the same stuff, and hurts the same stuff more, so that's out. But it is an option if you're just looking for absolutely blazing movement speed. Then we have the 10.5 MWII Typhon, which you could remove. You could add this so you could remove the Spiral Flash Hider, but you won't get the same recoil control. And you're not getting movement speed or ADS speed like you are with the MWII Drake, so that's out. And then the 12-inch MWII SZ36, similar to the Typhoon, except it's going to go ahead and help the damage range and not give you sound suppression, but it hurts your ADS speed, helps your movement speed. Not something we want, and like I said, damage range isn't that important, and you do have recoil control with the other attachments. So then from that, we get into the VLK laser, which is pretty typical. Oh, sorry, forgot the tuning. The barrel tuning is negative 0.32 down towards aim down walking speed and negative 0.22 over towards aim down sight speed. Then we have the VLK laser 7 milliwatt. The tune is going to be down to towards sprint to fire speed negative 0.4, and ADS speed is going to be negative 3.4 or 39.48 over to the left. And as usual, this is for ADS speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed. And then we have the 50-round drum, no tuning. And finally, we have the D37 grip. That's going to help with the recoil control. The MWII flash grip helps with sprint to fire speed and ADS speed. If you want a little more speed and you're fine with the recoil otherwise, go with that. And then the MWII GR500 helps with the flinch resistance, and that's not really a big deal. So then tuning for the D37 is going to be negative 0.74 down towards aim down sight speed and negative 0.33 over towards sprint to fire speed to the left. So that's going to be the loadout. Here's all the attachments. If you're just here for the loadout and you want to go try it for yourself, great. I do appreciate you watching so much. And for those that want to go over to True Game Data and look at data, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so you can see I have that loadout built just how I have. I have the Lockman sub meta build, the ISO 45 meta build, and the ISO 9mm build. Now keep in mind the ISO 9mm long range damage will actually be up, so that's after its last drop off. The time to kill will actually be longer, but that's not really important. And the Lockman sub, we'll have to see how the changes actually shake out, but close damage was nerfed, but the head and neck damage multiplier were increased. So the data is a little inaccurate, but generally it's going to work for our comparison here. Here we're looking at chest shots, all chest shots, 300 health. If you include ADS time, you can see the Bas-P doesn't really move. The Lockman sub reigns supreme, but when you include ADS time, the ISO 45 and the ISO 9mm are now losing just by a little bit. Sprint to fire just kind of moves ISO 9mm up, but everything else kind of stays the same there. So that's not really too much of a factor there. We go to headshots, and this is where the Bas-P really loses out. It's not a whole lot slower than the other weapons are, so most people aren't hitting headshots, not a super big deal. Next shot looks just like chest. In fact, they're the exact same. Stomach now actually drops the ISO 9mm out of contention more so than any other gun. Other ones stay the exact same. Upper arm brings the ISO 9mm even farther out, and then upper leg and lower leg look the exact same. So what we're looking at too that really makes it best overall is you can see how it remains competitive. Except for headshots, it remains competitive everywhere, and even in headshots, it's competitive with the Lockman sub. What we're really looking at here is the damage drop-off is going to be at 18.47, and that's the first damage drop-off. The other first damage drop-offs for the Lockman sub is going to be at 8.3, the ISO 45 is going to be 8.63, and the ISO 9mm is 9.3. So it's almost 9 meters farther than all of the other weapons, and that's what really makes it the best overall. It's got a competitive time to kill, it's got a way farther damage drop-off, and so if you're shooting at anything past 9mm, you should have the advantage over everyone else. Even look, headshots, the ISO 45 is actually slightly better, but I think the Bas-P is a little easier to shoot, kind of preference, but one's not necessarily better than the other, and the Bas-P still drops off later. Those are my thoughts. I definitely think the Bas-P is the best overall SMG. I don't know if it's the most competitive, but I think it's the best when you balance everything out, you weigh everything. The Bas-P is incredibly slept on. Jump on it before other people do, especially with that Lockman sub nerf that came today. The ISOs are going to kind of compete with each other, but the Bas-P is definitely an option you should consider. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos like this. You can be the first to know. You can comment first. And speaking of commenting, please don't forget to comment down below. Tell me, am I right? Am I wrong? Am I smart? Am I dumb? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And like I mentioned, I'll have Twitch link down below, as well as all my other social medias and true game data, so you can check out the data for yourself. But I will see you on Mazrah, Ashika, and Vondo. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.